If you're overweight, what's your answer to this question? Why are you overweight? Now I'm asking this because recently a lady came up to me and asked me about a weight loss journey, and I threw that question at her and she looked totally lost. I'm going to talk about that in today's clip, and I'm going to give you some tips on what I think you should be thinking about on a weight loss journey. So the other night, one of my runners who joined my running group a while ago came up to me and she said to me, Bevan, I read your book and I love your book and I want to lose some weight and I'd love to get some advice on a weight loss journey. Now this person has lost about 7 kgs since she started running with us, but she still has a bit more weight she wants to learn along her pathway or lose along her pathway. And as she asked me this question, I kind of threw the question back at her and I said, well, why are you overweight? And what was really mind-blowing was in this moment, she was lost. Like you could see, she didn't actually know why she was overweight. And this is a really interesting thing to think about because, well, actually, let me tell you another experience. So a while ago on my Facebook feed, I put up the question of, if you are overweight, why are you overweight? And what was really cool about that clip, that question was so many people answered. I think I got like 120 answers on it. And everybody was very honest and raw about the reasons they were really overweight. But you know the fascinating thing? Probably only 10% of them, not even that, probably 1% of them said, look, I don't know what I should be eating. Most of the answers were around deeper problems that these people needed to address on a weight loss journey. I remember one guy talked about loneliness. I remember one lady talked about emotional eating. I remember one person talked about, I'm just always tired and I have no self-control when I'm tired. So when we think about a weight loss journey, one thing that we really need to understand is, what is the real problem that you need to solve? Or what are the real problems that you need to solve on your weight loss journey? Now, when we think about a weight loss journey, obviously nutrition and movement is going to be a part of that journey. But let's be honest, most people have a basic understanding around nutrition and movement. If you move a little bit more in your life and you put better foods in your body and maybe less volume of foods in your body, you're probably going to lose some weight along the way. But that's not often the biggest problem, and that's what we're going to think about on a weight loss journey. What's really interesting, I work with a few people over the years who have had the weight loss surgery. And the weight loss surgery is a really fascinating thing because when you have the weight loss surgery, you basically lose the ability to eat like 90% of the food that you've had before the surgery. So we actually remove the food aspect to somebody's life. And what's really interesting after that moment is these people often have to confront the bigger problem. And unfortunately for these people, a lot of these people have deep-rooted issues that they've never actually dealt with, and they've used food as a way to disguise these issues. And then you remove the food and suddenly they have to actually deal with these problems. And sometimes the weight loss surgery actually is a really hard emotional place for these people because they're not actually ready or they're not prepared and got the tools in place to actually deal with the issues they need to deal with. Recently, I had a client who had the weight loss surgery and it's been massively life-changing. I think she's already lost like 50, 60 kgs. She's in a place where it's just this empowering, liberating experience where she's absolutely nailing life. Now, what's really cool with my client is we dealt with her bigger life problems before she had the surgery. So by the time she was ready to have surgery, she'd actually developed herself and overcome a lot of the problems she had come with when, that made her overweight. And in doing that, then when she had the surgery, it was just kind of like the icing on the cake and she's prepared as a person. So let's go back to that question of why are you overweight? Now, if you're overweight and you're watching this right now, do you know the solid answers to those questions or to this question? Or are you a bit like the person I talked to the other night who doesn't actually understand why you're overweight? So probably what we're going to think about on a pathway, and we think about how do I actually use this as a powerful tool? Well, the first thing is to explore the question, why are you overweight? And when you do this in a really raw and honest way. Like, why am I overweight? Really, why am I overweight? Maybe it is fatigue. Maybe it is emotional eating. Maybe it is a deeper rooted problem from your history. I don't know your answers. You have a better understanding of what this is. But if you can deeply get to that point, then what we can do is we can now really help you figure out what problem we're trying to help you solve. Now, obviously, food, movement, and stuff will be a part of your journey. But let's say you are an emotional eater and you understand the reason of your deep emotion, Then we can go, what's better strategies to put in place when you're feeling emotional that aren't around food? So it might be that when I feel emotional, I have a 3-step strategy of bringing a friend, writing a journal, and going for a walk. That's my 3-step strategy instead of using food. And it's a much healthier way to deal with your emotion. So step number 1 is explore the question of why I'm overweight. Second step is then to think about, once I understand the problems or the reasons why, I'm trying to problem solve my way through this. Now, it's really important when we think about step number 2 is get support around you. For some people, it might just be fatigue or something like that. That's actually an easy one to solve. But if you've got bigger problems, let's say you've got a historic problem and that's the reason you're overweight, you're probably going to need something like psychological help or a good mentor or good support beside you along your journey. So once you understand your problem, develop a plan, but ideally develop a plan with somebody who can help you put the right plan in place. The third step is to apply the plan. And let's be honest, all plans aren't 100% applied all the time. So there's going to be moments where you hiccup or you trip along the way. That's cool. But what you want to do is you want to learn from those moments and make sure you get better at applying the plan in the long term. A weight loss journey is a really fascinating journey because it's a tough journey. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, but if you get to the other side of it, sure, you'll be healthier, you'll have less weight, you'll feel better about yourself, but actually you'll develop yourself as a person in ways that maybe you never thought possible. And that's actually, to me, one of the most rewarding parts of a weight loss journey is the possibility of self and who you can become in your future, not just because you're less weight in your body, but the possibility of the growth in your life. So if you are someone who's a little bit overweight, maybe think of these 3 steps. Explore the question of why I'm overweight, identify the real problems, and then develop a plan with good mentorship alongside you. And then lastly, apply the plan and try to stick at it for the long term. I think if you do this, you might be in a better place in the future in a really empowering way. If you enjoy my pieces and you want to bring exercise into your life, you need to check out my book, I Will Make You Passionate About Exercise. This book is designed to be a step-by-step journey that teaches you the right lessons and experiences to guide bringing exercise into your life, not just for a moment, but where you get to the place where you have a long-term love of exercise. So you get fitter, you get healthier, you have great stress releases, and you feel amazing about yourself. This book has been hugely successful, getting into the top 10 in the world for health and fitness books. So if it's time for you to bring health and fitness into your life, go to Passion About Exercise, click on the link, go through the process, and you can be starting your journey of finding your love for exercise really soon.